Are you a diva mom who's been told that you just don't look like you can cook? Well, if you're looking for quick meal solutions, this is soul food in stilettos. Hi, my name is Tamika Hall, and there are a couple of things that I don't have. I don't have a lot of time on my hands, and I don't have patience for people who feel like I can't cook because I like to rock a fabulous pair of stilettos every day. One of the things I do have is I have a husband, 4 children, and the awesome responsibility of having to cook for them every day when I come home from my full-time job and running a business. So this cooking show is for every woman who doesn't have time, but you have the responsibility. Today I'm going to teach you how I make my famous tangy green beans, and this is soul food in stilettos. For your ingredients, you're going to need some green beans, some mushrooms, 2 tablespoons of margarine or butter, some vinegar, and a nice seasoning. I like to use Mrs. Dash. And you're also going to need an onion. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take 1 teaspoon of butter or margarine and put that in your skillet. Get your skillet all based and nice and buttery. I love that taste. Add in your mushrooms now. I'm using a can of mushrooms, but you are welcome to cut up some mushrooms. This is probably about maybe 4 or 5 larger mushrooms that have been cut up. And while those are simmering in that butter or the margarine that you've chosen to use, make sure you cut up your onions. I'm using about a quarter of a large sweet onion for this. And I'm cutting it into some pretty chunky large pieces because my family, we like larger pieces. But if you like it minced and smaller, then that's fine. Go ahead and add that into the skillet once you have it the way that you want it, and make sure that you get those all cooked down really well. I usually cook it for about a good maybe 4 minutes or so because I like for my stuff to still have that bite to it. Once it's cooked down the way that you like, you want to go ahead and put it on a plate, and you want to be able to set that aside. I don't clean my skillet off because I like for the essence of the mushrooms and the onions to stay in there when I go ahead and add in some more margarine or butter. I'm going to add in another teaspoon of that, and once that has already been basted in my skillet, now I'm going to add in the green beans. I've chosen to use a can of green beans because it's just easier for me and it's faster, but it's always great to either use very fresh green beans or you can also opt to use frozen. Here I am, I'm putting in 2 caps of vinegar. This is white distilled vinegar, but you can also opt for the apple cider vinegar. Both of those are really great and they add a nice tang and zing to those green beans. But again, I only use 2 caps because I don't really like too much of that in there because it's a little bit overpowering if you add more than that. Now I have my Mrs. Dash. I prefer Mrs. Dash because I'm one of those people who suffers from high blood pressure, so Mrs. Dash doesn't have any salt in it and it has a great collection of herbs and different seasonings in there. Once I've had all of that mixed together, now it's time for you to add in your mushrooms and the sweet onion right back into that. Mix that up, cook it down for about a good 5 minutes or so, and once it's all cooked the way that you want it, you're going to want to go ahead and transfer it into the dish and plate it, and it is ready to serve. Doesn't that look awesome? If you're a diva mom and you need quick meal solutions like this one, log on to soulfoodandstilettos.com.